My friend's husband pretended to be her to ask me to be their third?
Oh, I don't understand what's going on, but I don't think I like it.
This is an r/OKstorytime subreddit submission, so this is one of y'all.
Okay. Wow.
Wowie. This is a doozy. I am a 27-year-old female, and this friend is also 27 and female. So my friend at the time, let's call her Jessica, started seeing this guy toward the end of 2020. No one in our friend group liked him. She knew this. After about a year of them seeing each other, they got engaged. This guy pretty much only is with her for spicy time.
Don't like that.
By the way, this comes from Witchy Woman 1998. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit.
Boom.
So one of our mutual friends came to me and said how Jessica's man asked her for a double sloppy toppy repeatedly, even though she said no.
Reading this story.
Yeah, I always get these stories. Because she was in a relationship. Yep. He tried bribing her with Victoria's Secret. I'll talk about that later. When she yelled at him saying no, he said it was just a joke. A few days after she told me about this, I get a text from Jessica's number asking if I would do a double sloppy toppy or just spicy time in general with her and her man. I immediately responded saying no, and you should know better than ask me. I'm not into that type of spicy time and would never consider it with a friend ever. The next day, I get a FaceTime from her, and I mentioned that I'm super irritated that she sent that text. She swore she didn't know what I was talking about, but the look on her face went red with embarrassment. And she said her fiance sent it without her knowing.
Uh-oh.
After this, I had run into them both, and he tried asking me again and tried telling me he'd spoil me with Victoria's Secret.
Gosh.
Seems to be his go-to. I flat out said no. I told her that I didn't believe she didn't know, that I don't support them getting married, and wouldn't attend the wedding due to now being uncomfortable around her fiance. Valid.
So valid.
She didn't believe me and kept asking me to be her wedding photographer. Two peas in a pod. They just keep asking you to do things for them. And telling me where she was going to seat me if I didn't want to do pictures. When it came to her actual wedding, 2023, no one in our friend group showed up. In fact, only one of her friends, not in our mutual group, showed up because we all didn't like him. Since then, we all distanced ourselves from her and even told her why. She would then message us, irritated. We never wanted to hang out with her. Never messaged her first, and would say we're all a-holes for not going to her wedding, saying we didn't support the marriage. I would be civil with her, told her I was too busy with things to hang out every time she did this, and also reminded her I didn't want to be around her husband. Seems how he can't seem to be away from her for more than a half hour without telling her to get home. She went off on me a few months ago saying how I was the biggest a-hole for not showing up to her wedding. Since I had known her the longest in our friend group. Instead of responding, I blocked her number and all of her socials. 2 days later, someone still on her Facebook sent me a screenshot. Oh, she had posted to Facebook saying she was happy she was no longer my friend because I never cared about her, even though she was always welcome at my parents when she was fighting with her parents and brother or was in a fight with her fiance. But anyway. There's a short, unexpected update a few days later. She tried getting a hold of me on my business Instagram account, as well as her husband trying to talk. I told her to stop getting a hold of me. Didn't respond to her harmful husband. Then blocked her on my business accounts, on all social media, because apparently it wasn't obvious I was completely done with her when I blocked her a few months ago, not even responding to her 5-paragraph text of all the reasons as to why I'm an a-hole. Comments. Comment 1. You made the right call. As for your friend, she's heading towards one of those open marriages, which is, I don't know if she's heading towards it. I think she's already in it.
Yeah.
Where he pushes for it, but it's really just an excuse for him to cheat. He's already cheating. He's propositioning women. They're just not accepting. He's trying to cheat. He's just failing at it because no one likes him.
He's just weird and creepy.
Eventually, she'll be on Reddit sharing how her husband drove her away from all her friends by being creepy and using the open marriage to sleep around. She'll become a hollow version of herself, not realizing why she can't seem to maintain any lasting friendships with other women. Until then, stay away from her and her husband as long as you can, including no contact. This guy will only cause more trouble down the line. OP says, in her last text of her telling me how I was an a-hole, she tried telling me she didn't understand why everyone uses her husband as an excuse, because he's only for her. Yet he has asked more than just me and the other friend I mentioned in the story for this. He actually got hit in the face by the one friend that showed up at the wedding for asking her while she was pregnant. Comment 2, I'm sure once she catches him in bed with one or two of her new friends, she'll reach back out to you and ask for support. He sounds like a total creep, and I don't blame you for keeping your distance.
Yep.
OP says, I probably won't try to be friends with her again if she finds a way to contact me. If/when that happens, this is just the tip of the iceberg with drama when it comes to this friend. She's cheated on past boyfriends, stolen friends' boyfriends, stolen things from multiple friends, owed me and another friend money, is always job hopping, yet complains when she struggles to find a job, and she constantly threatens to throw hands and throw stuff at people who disagree with her.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
She
So
sounds delightful.
there's quite a few reasons to
Yeah.
leave
They need
this
to
friendship.
go to University of How to Become a Better Person 101.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's the only problem in this relationship.
Not at all.
She also tries to copy things her friends want to do. I sat there and mentioned going into real estate, possibly as a career, and she started taking courses less than a week later. Then got mad when I was honest with her and told her she'd be a horrid realtor because she can't control her mouth or her fists. Comment 3, I would definitely end that friendship. OP says, it's been ended for a bit now. Not planning on rekindling it ever. Update. My ex-boyfriend left me just to end up with his sister's pregnant best friend less than a week later. Whoa.
This is a whole nother story.
This is a whole nother story.
What?
This is my second post in here. My ex-friend from my last post, title is along the lines of, am I the a-hole for not going to my friend's wedding after her husband wanted spicy time with both of us? Set me up with a guy, let's call him Chris. She considered to be like a brother back in 2020. Anyone this woman considers to be a very close friend cannot be great.
Yep.
I, 22 at the time, don't really date. Guys don't really seem attracted to me. I'm a bigger woman with HEDS, PCOS, POTS, among other issues. What guys seem interested only seems to be interested to get me in the bedroom. So I rarely get to the relationship basis.
Oh.
Chris, 23 at the time, had a child from a previous marriage, and my ex-friend thought he was looking for someone to settle down with after the stuff he went through with his ex. She was violent.
Oh no.
I was iffy due to the last guys I tried dating with kids leading me on just to ghost me after a few weeks, but I finally caved and had her tell him to message me. We talked and hung out for a few weeks to a month. He said he wasn't sure if he wanted a relationship, but was hoping he would be soon. I told him there was no rush because I'd rather be sure than him lead me on. About a week after he told me that, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I asked him if he was sure. Being it wasn't long after he said he wasn't sure if he was ready for one. He told me he was 110% sure he was ready. So I said yes. Oh, I don't think he is ready.
I don't think so either.
About a week into us dating, he decides he wants me to meet his family.
A week?
Red flags, red flags.
A week?
A week into
Oh
it.
man.
Wait, what? Into talking?
Into like
No,
just
they
dating.
just started dating.
It's
Yeah.
a red flag? Really?
I think in this relationship, I think
Oh,
he's,
okay.
I think
Yeah.
he's like
Okay,
pushing it.
good.
Which I figured was going to happen quick, being they all lived across the street from my friend. Okay. And I was going over there quite often. That makes a little bit of sense. All of his family seemed to love me, except for his sister Lola. That weekend, I met his family. His sister showed up with her baby daddy and her pregnant best friend. This was Chris's first time meeting Lola's best friend, Grace. As I was talking to Lola before they left, I noticed for some reason, when Grace said bye, she hugged onto Chris for an awkwardly long time. Ooh. I mean, Chris looked sort of uncomfortable with how long it was, so I wasn't concerned, especially being Chris hadn't given me any reason to really not trust him. A couple days later, my ex-friend tells me Grace thought I hated her because of the hug. So I went and found her social media and messaged her to let her know I didn't hate her, as I had no reason to not trust Chris. For some reason, Chris at this point had gone radio silent on me. We went from texting and video chatting very often to him leaving me on read or giving me 1 to 2 word responses, other than him telling me he was going through something mentally and thought he needed some space. I thought it was a bit weird, but said I understood and left him be for about a week. After a week, he just continued to leave me on read. His family would ask me if we were still together. I would just say, at this point, I don't know. Go ask him yourself, because he doesn't know how to respond to me.
Dude.
Truly, like, why are they asking you?
Yeah.
About a month after he asked me to be his girlfriend, 2 months since we started talking, he comes over to my ex-friend's house in a t-shirt I gifted him with his kid I haven't met before.
Oh, wow.
Mind you, he's still leaving me on read other than a couple 1-word responses.
What?
3 to 4 days after that, I get a message from Grace asking if Chris and I are still together. OP's like, I don't know. Ask him.
Yeah.
I told her to ask him because he's not responding to me. She responded to that with, you should ask him again. So, of course, being that is a weird message to see from a female, I asked Chris. Lo and behold, he does not respond.
Shocker.
Shocking. Wow. Chris not responding. It's so out of the norm.
What?
A couple days later, I'm sick of it and message Chris and go, we need to talk because are we even together? He responds with, I'm sorry, but I forced myself to be in a relationship with you when I wasn't ready for one. Again, I'm sorry. I hate this.
Got it.
I hate this. It's so frustrating when people who aren't ready for a relationship are like, I'm going to do it anyway.
I'm
like when they know, not just like, oh, you know, like I didn't realize. Like they know they're not ready. Because he said he wasn't ready. And then a week later it was like, oh, you want to be my girlfriend?
He's like, sure.
When you're not ready, don't force yourself to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
With someone.
It's not fair to the other person.
It's so not fair. It's so not fair. You are being selfish.
Yes.
2 days later, he blocks me on everything. About 2 days after that, I see on Grace's Facebook that her and Chris are in a relationship.
Oh, look at that.
So all the time when Grace is like, you should ask him if you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
You should ask him if you're still in a relationship.
Yeah.
How
it's
long
like,
have they been
I'm not
together?
ready for a relationship with you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's the ... man. My first thought was they knew each other longer than they mentioned, and she was pregnant with Chris's baby.
Okay.
But my ex-friend and Chris's other sister confirmed that she was pregnant with another man's baby.
Okay.
Who wanted nothing to do with Grace or the baby.
Word.
My ex-friend threw a fit to both of them because she knew I had started to fall for Chris pretty hard when he had me meet his family and when you were actively dating him.
Yeah.
I tend to fall for someone pretty hard and sometimes a bit fast. The fit my ex-friend threw had Chris's sister Lola messaging me mad that I was upset that Chris was already with another woman not even a week after he told me he wasn't actually ready for a relationship. A couple months go by and I'm finally mostly over him, only to find out they're engaged. Which only bugged me a tiny bit. It had been months, but there was still a bit of a sting knowing they were working out the way I was hoping. About 8 to 10 months after that, my ex-friend asks me to go look at Grace's page because it was interesting. Her and Chris got married the day after what would have been his and I's 1-year anniversary.
What?
My ex-friend told me she overheard Grace wanting to do it on the day, but there was no time slots at the courthouse to do it. So strange. The only good thing that came out of this relationship and the friendship with my ex-friend is I had gotten my wonderful dog who absolutely loves Dakota and Riley reading.
Oh my gosh.
We love to hear it.
Look at that.
Let's go.
Wow.
From my ex's younger sister, not Lola, who is best friends with my ex-friend. I also learned don't trust most guys named Chris because if Chris crossed applesauce, what would he do to you?
Whoa,
Bars.
dude.
My boredom got the best of me, and I went to see if my ex's wife, the woman he left me for, still had me blocked on Facebook.
Love it.
Mainly because I saw she viewed my TikTok profile and liked a few of my videos from 5 years ago, right after he broke up with me. She had blocked me on Facebook when I reacted to her and Chris making things Facebook official. By the way, you can make things official with us if you listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio and search up Storytime. Well, she unblocked me. I immediately noticed her profile picture isn't of her and my ex or her and the kids like normal. But I quickly realized who is in the picture with her. It's my ex's brother.
What?
So naturally, I got more curious.
Oh my gosh.
I looked up my ex's second Facebook, the one I wasn't blocked on, to see what's on his page. His profile picture is with the same brother's baby mama.
So they just wife swapped?
Chris, my ex, has one biological kid with the woman he married after breaking up with me, and his brother has one biological kid with the woman my ex is now with. So my ex and his brother have become uncle daddies, apparently.
Let's go. Uncle Dad's mentioned.
Crazy.
Uncle Daddy's mentioned.
I'm sorry, that the concept of this is so funny to me because it seems like they literally went, I like her better.
Yeah.
And the other one like, well, yeah, I like her better.
Like, okay.
Let's swap.
Sure.
And the girls were like yeah? Made me
Call
even
back.
more glad I'm not with Chris anymore, and totally made me laugh because what kind of Jerry Springer BS is going on with that family? Common One says, wow, that is some Jerry Springer material. You dodged a bullet with Chris. Trust me, he is not the one. I'm sorry that happened to you. And OP says, thank you. It hurt at the time, even though we weren't together long, but the situation is sort of laughable the more information I end up finding out.
My fiance will take my last name. It did not go well with his parents.
Ooh, so bad that he wanted to forget their name.
My fiance, male 21 Alex, and I, female 22, have been together for 6 years, getting married this year. Congratulations.
Congrats.
I never cared much about my last name, but after some recent family events, realized that I want to keep mine. Alex doesn't mind and chose to change his last name so we'd match.
Heck yeah.
By the way, this comes from Throw Away My Last Name. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit.
Heck yeah.
Upon finding out, Alex's parents, Lisa and Luke, yelled at him.
Oy.
Lisa cussed him out, so my parents let him stay with us for the last week of winter break. We were home on break from college and live a few miles apart. Lisa and Luke say Alex is destroying and disowning his family, publicly humiliating them, and say that I'm stripping him of his manhood.
Wow, OP really is
Doing
pretty
a lot.
powerful.
They told us we're unbiblical and that women should submit. Oh, wow, this is crazy language here. Crazy vocabulary. To them, it's political too. They said the queer community is the reason that we're susceptible to this. Transgender people are to blame, and America is in its downfall. This is just another sign.
Wow. Okay.
Alex has gotten plenty of texts from Lisa calling him hateful, cruel, and cold, asking how can he let her suffer. The meetings Alex had with his parents went poorly. They told him that they wanted to see him and not talk about the name, but then they did. One meeting involved both sets of parents, Lisa and Luke, talked 90% of the time before getting up and leaving. They're mad Alex stayed with us and said that even if we go with his name, they'd resent us and my family for supporting us. Oh my gosh. Lisa threatened to cut Alex off and says he won't get another penny. They had planned to contribute to our wedding, stating that there were no strings attached and they fund his college apartment. Lisa said that this is the worst thing to happen to her since losing her first baby. Oh my God.
Wow.
And that it's worse than if Alex had gotten me pregnant, unalived someone, wasted driving, or was attracted to the same gender. She's telling Alex that his grandparents will have to move to assisted living from heartbreak. And Luke keeps telling Alex that his choice is hurting people. Holy crap, man. Calm down.
Yeah.
Their main reasons seem to be that it is tradition and that they want the same last name carried on.
Well,
it's not an uncommon last name.
Certainly he doesn't want their last name.
Yeah.
I want to carry on that legacy.
I also learned that Lisa borderline tried to talk Alex out of proposing. Alex asked me to marry him anyway, and Lisa called my mom in the midst of the engagement excitement to share her disapproval. Great. They said that they get a say until Alex is married, and that's when they'll leave us be. Huh? What? Lisa and Luke keep texting Alex and my parents, but I have never gotten anything. They openly dislike me now, bad-mouthing me whenever I'm there or not. I've decided my relationship with Lisa and Luke is over. It was rocky before, as they tried to push their religion onto me numerous times. Alex is deciding how much more he can give. He hasn't taken a harsh tone or spoken rudely to his parents, but is tired. Now, his parents say if Alex won't move back home, their financial support ends. They say the family won't come to the wedding, and one of his siblings actually has left the wedding party. Obviously, I have decided to stay mostly away from Lisa and Luke now, but they are Alex's family. With the wedding still coming up, we're unsure how to move forward. Edit to add, Lisa and Luke's financial support is not necessary, and the wedding will proceed with or without it. Just thought it relevant to point out that the money that was offered, no strings attached, clearly does have strings. We know we are young and are still getting married after spending 6 years together. Postponing the wedding isn't something that we're willing to do. But we do have some comments. Commenter number 1 says, family, you're awful evil people and we're not coming. You, okay. OP responds to this, easier said than done, but this may need to be the route that we take. Commenter number 2 says, it sounds like he has really good reasons for not wanting to be associated with that last name any longer. Yes, it's not a traditional thing and people will look at him funny for it. They can just F right off. If you're happy and he's happy, that's all that matters. Commenter number 3 says, you shouldn't be getting married before you have achieved financial independence from your parents. This is just the first issue that will come from this. You're too young anyway. OP says, I appreciate the insight, but we don't need their financial support. Just thought it was worth mentioning that money offered without strings clearly does have strings. We have a solid plan in place financially, but came to this sub for the relationship aspect. Someone else responds, if you and your fiancé don't need their financial support, why have you guys been taking it? I'm sure this isn't the first time that they've shown they're not good people. So you both have agreed to benefit from their finances despite the kind of people that they are. OP responds, it hasn't been a trade of money for control up until now. If your parents wanted to give you money, would you not take it if it was truly out of kindness? Alex surely isn't the only college student being put through by his parents.
Yeah.
Now,
silly comment.
Yeah, that is. Now that it is money for control, we're planning not to accept it anymore. And guess what? We've got an update.
Let's freaking jump in.
Alex and I got married last month and everything was absolutely beautiful since my original post. After more months of emotional and verbal abuse, Alex made the difficult decision that his parents were no longer welcome at our wedding. He explained that he couldn't trust them to respect his boundaries, respect us at all, or respect what the event was about. As expected, they freaked out, asking if he was trapped and needed help, saying everything had become about me, OP, and telling him that he'd been isolated from everyone that he loves. We're not sure what story they told Alex's extended family. Alex reached out to everyone to explain what had been going on, but every response that he received was more disgust towards his name choice, refusal of wedding invitations, and saying that he needed to apologize and grovel and fix the family. Oh my gosh. Most of Lisa's family were the ones talking the most about how dishonorable he was and how he was breaking apart the family. Interesting, seeing none of them share Lisa and Luke's last name. Luke's family does. Luckily, only one invitation was returned with nasty notes inside, but the rest of the digital responses took Lisa and Luke's side, berating Alex for doing this near the anniversary of the passing of Lisa's first child, and called him cruel and hateful. Oh my gosh, this is so not the same at all. This is just so insane.
Nope. You might need to go very limited to no contact with these people.
Sorry about that.
Boy.
For context, Lisa's first child passed away a few days after birth, over 25 years ago. Alex says there has never been any remembrance that he knows of, and they do nothing on the anniversary. He doesn't even know the date of the anniversary. Lisa and Luke explained what happened once when he was young and never mentioned anything again. We're unsure why it's all coming back up now after presenting.
They're trying to guilt him.
Yeah, exactly. After presenting as generally unimportant his whole life. Apparently, This drama, being 4 months from the anniversary, was disrespectful. 4 months? A third of the year away from the anniversary?
Like, it was too soon. I'm sorry, what? 4 months is not soon.
Oh my gosh. His sister Alice also went off the rails. After checking in to see how Alex was doing, Alice got angry that he wanted to discuss things over text instead of on the phone. They're just grasping at straws, things to be mad about.
Mad at anything.
Yeah. It became obvious that she wanted him on the phone to berate him because she ranted about how he was steamrolling their parents and wasn't really an adult because he wasn't married yet.
He's about to get married.
That?
He's about to get married. And also that's silly. That's silly.
That's silly.
To be clear, but it's also funny because like they're actively trying to stop him. Weird.
Yeah. I know, because the parents mentioned that earlier. Like, we can't tell him what to do, like, unless he's, or we can tell him what to do until he gets married.
So strange.
These are crazy people. She said that she had encouraged Lisa and Luke to cut him off long ago, and that I, OP, wasn't acting like family since I stopped letting her follow my Instagram account. This was after she had dropped out as a bridesmaid and made it clear she didn't support our marriage. I decided not everyone gets full access to my life.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. As his only sibling, it was devastating for Alex to watch Alice spiral into fully taking their parents' side after initially leading him to believe that she had his back and being supportive. After saying not to expect her and Alex's brother-in-law at the wedding, there's been no further contact since Alice refuses to speak to him unless he'll talk on the phone. At this point, he won't do any phone calls as we'd rather have record of everything that goes down. Many people tried to talk to Lisa and Luke, my own parents, mutual friends, etc., to encourage them to choose the relationship and explain the damage that they were causing wasn't worth the loss that they'd endure. It seemed to have no effect. Alex was quick to become no longer financially dependent on his parents. We've changed his phone plan, reclaimed all of his bills from Lisa and Luke, fully moved him out, and finished college. We're not sure if they attended graduation. They texted Alex the day before to say that they'd be there, but then turned off their location services. Graduation day was stressful and nerve-wracking, with Alex not knowing if they'd make a scene or corner him. He left as soon as he walked across the stage and made it to his car with no interactions. Since then, as most Redditors suggested, we've been nearly no contact with Lisa and Luke. We spent the first 6 weeks of summer finishing wedding details, and our day last month was gorgeous. Alex received no communication between graduation and the wedding and has no plans to continue the relationship without an apology. Lisa and Luke did not show up to the wedding or say anything the day of. The only recent change is Lisa unfollowing and unfriending both of us and my family on all social media. And by the way, you can follow us on all social media. Just search OK Storytime, but you can especially do it on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
For me, my in-law relationships are basically over, apology or not. Learning they'd never supported our engagement, ignoring my existence, and hating me because of my political and religious beliefs is enough for me not to keep contact. Good. Thank you, Redditors, for your kind help and good wishes. Our day was truly perfect and straight out of a fairy tale. And we're looking forward to the next chapter of our lives with hopefully less drama. And that is that.